Watch and burn.
Hey everybody! So tonight I am looking to discuss the original short story of Children of the Corn that originally appeared in Stephen King's collection of short stories known as Night Shift that was released back in 1978. Now I know originally this was published in either Penthouse or Cavalier or some shit like Playboy back throughout the course of the 70s, but my first involvement, my first interaction with this was through the actual the collection of short stories Night Shift. And this is a completely different animal than the Linda Hamilton and the guy from 30-something vehicle that was that's the most famously known out of all the Children of the Corn movies. And my God, there are like 75 of them. So there are a ton of Children of the Corn movies. And unfortunately, other than the one with Linda Hamilton and the remake that I'll discuss in a second, the rest of them are awful. But yeah, the one with Linda Hamilton, that's the best known one. Everybody seems to love that, myself included. But then there was also a remake that is directly based off this short story here, that I believe the original director of the Linda Hamilton-led Children of the Corn from way back, he was removed from the product, or he lost interest in the product, or the project, sorry. I don't remember why, but I'm pretty sure it was the original director that did this really awesome and faithful remake, I guess. Not really. I guess technically it'll be framed as a remake because the Linda Hamilton one had been out for like 2 decades prior to this one being released. But this one, the one that I'm thinking of, I think it was released around 2008 to 2012, somewhere in there. It is a faithful retelling of this short story. And this short story couldn't be more radically different. There couldn't be more of a departure put into place from this, the short story, to the Linda Hamilton Children of the Corn. In this, Bert and Vicky hate each other. They're fighting full time, and actually Bert genuinely hates her. At one point, he ends up hitting her throughout the course of this because she's freaking out on him, and he just runs up and fucking swats her. And she can't stand him either. And they're fighting their way pretty much right into Gatlin without even realizing what's going on. They hit the kid, of course. The kid comes out of the corn. They hit him, and then they notice that there's no way that they could have been responsible for killing him because the kid's throat was slit, much like in the Linda Hamilton film. That still happens here in this short story. But like I said, Bert and Vicky, they are not friends. And immediately, you know, things are a little different because I don't think they've hit the kid yet, so as they're driving towards their first encounter with somebody from Gatlin, where they're going to hit the kid who's already dead, they can already hear a teen preacher on the radio discussing like God and the corn and everything, and of course it makes no sense to them, so they just turn it off. Whereas originally in the original movie, there's none of that. You just hear adult preachers. And the second they get to Gatlin, when they're attempting to find help to deal with the kid that, you know, they hit, the kids attack. It's right off, you are not welcome in Gatlin. And I love this so much more than the original movie. Now, I love the original movie, but I like how much scarier this is. This is so much scarier. I mean, I know when Linda Hamilton and the dude from 30-something, they get there, and the Gatlin's completely deserted. That would be plenty terrifying, too, especially considering you've got a corpse in the trunk. But when this Bert and Vicky enter Gatlin, it just starts, and the kids start coming out of the woodwork, and they start attacking them. And they get separated. Vicky is taken, much like in the original film. And Bert is attempting to navigate his way through the corn to find Vicky. And he does eventually do this, but when he finds her, she's been mounted, her eyes have been gouged out, and she's dead. She's been mounted. I can't remember what she was mounted on. She was mounted on like a tractor or some shit. I don't remember. I read the story about a month ago. I probably should have reread it before I decided to do this video story, but I'm the least professional person on YouTube, so why would I do that? But yeah, so when he gets a hold of her, when he finally finds her, she's dead. She's mounted on some vehicle and some sort of tribute to He Who Walks Behind the Rose. The blue man is still there, of course. The sheriff, the cop, he's still there. But Bert ends up killing one of them. He stabs one of the kids in the throat, which was really aggressive again, because that does not happen in the original movie that I saw back when I was a kid. And I mean, Vicky, she's done. She's over with. And then Bert, he dies at the hands of He Who Walks Behind the Rose. And He Who Walks Behind the Rose, his power in this short story is absolute. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting was that Isaac and Malachi, they don't really play a significant role in this short story. As a matter of fact, Malachi turns 18 right at the end of the story. So, or, prior to the story starting or whatever. But Malachi is 18, and therefore he is sacrificed to he who walks behind the rose, because as everybody knows, or anybody who cares about Children of the Corn knows, when you hit 18, you've aged out and you need to be sacrificed for he, so that you can go and be with he who walks behind the rose. And I thought it was really interesting how they're just fed into a conveyor belt type situation of slaughter. Bert and Vicky never stood a chance. They're fighting on the way in, they hit the kid's already dead, they get to town, they get butchered, the story ends. And Malachi and Isaac don't even play a significant role. So what I liked about this was just how much more violent it was, and how hopeless Bert and Vicky were. They didn't stand a chance. They were done from the second they stepped foot in Gatlin. The kids just come out of the woodwork and start attacking them. Like, you were clearly not wanted here. But that is actually where I think I'm going to leave it, because I'm hearing a bunch of weird shit around me. Like, there's people yelling and shit, but I can't see anybody. So, like always, thank you so much for hanging out with me for almost 7 minutes while I discuss the original short story for Stephen King's Children of the Corn that appeared in the 1978 collection Night Shift. Like always, if you like this review, you liked this video, or you love this short story, or you love that remake I was talking about earlier, and I wonder how much of that I got wrong. Was it the original director? I don't. Anyway, that movie kicked ass. Don't forget to go and do something nice for somebody. It's simple. Hold a door for somebody, or give $1 to charity. But like always, most importantly, never forget that the world is actually a better place because you are in it. And I promise you, you are not forgotten and you are not invisible. Okay? I'm getting out of here. Have a good night.